Hey there, everyone. Tesh here, back again with another Saturday Live. I hope everything is looking awesome as well as audio is pretty damn good. So, welcome back to another Saturday Live. In these lives, I just answer your question that you just send me through your inbox and chats. And we just hang around, we just talk about stuff. And yes, of course, daily life. So, this is going to be another Saturday Live, just like that. We're going to wait for a few minutes so that more people can join up. So, hey, Vishal, Gaurav, Prince, Sandeep, Alok, Mahesh, Balaji, Ankit, Anand, just wait for a few minutes and then we're going to start up these live session. We'll answer your questions, all the doubts and questions that you have regarding programming and everything. I will try my best to give you best possible answer. If not, at least I can redirect you to a good resource. So, welcome back to another Saturday Live. So, hey Payal, hey Devanshu, Chaitanya, Anshu, Ayush, Roshni. Hola, hola, amigos. How are you? Instagram to YouTube. Yes, in case you don't know, I was live at Instagram for a few hours actually, just before this live. And I try to go live there on Instagram because I have the feature and ability to go live in one-on-one chat. So in case you are joining up, make sure you hit that like button so that I can know that yes, you are here, and then we're gonna get started with some of these lives and suggestions and awesome things like that. Okay, so make sure you hit that like button so that I can know how many people are watching this live. So we got 32 so far onto the like stats. Let's see if it can grow to something like 200 ish. Let's go ahead, hit that like button. Okay, so let's pick up a couple of questions and let's move forward. And one of the thing that I want to talk about is actually I was planning to make a couple of videos on that. That recently I've seen this trend that a lot of not web actually, mobile frameworks. I don't know if it's actually technically right to say that these are frameworks, but these mobile frameworks are moving into the web world as well. Flutter has done the same, and even this Expo is doing the same. So I was thinking to make a detailed video of why they are doing it and how much successful it's going to be in the future. If yes, how the SEO is going to be transforming and all of that. So yeah, we are going to talk a little bit about that. So okay, so let's go ahead and pick up a couple of questions in case you have any thought about this moving things about the Flutter and Expo is moving into the web world. What do you think about it? I think that's a pretty interesting subject to discuss around because that's how we are going to transform as a developer into all of that. So, your thought on Ionic framework? Uh, Ionic is actually transforming quite a lot. Recently, they have rolled out almost like a library which you can use in React Vue. That's a pretty good one. I'm going to talk about that in the upcoming videos, and that's a pretty good library they have got. Previously, they used to call like Ion buttons and stuff, but they have got a pretty big deal in that. So yes, we are going to talk about that also, and it's looking pretty rock solid. They were lagging behind because of this spatial dependency of Ionic and not being cross-platform, and now they are going into the cross-platform market. So it's going to be pretty good, and it's going to be pretty good thought that how they are moving. So it's gonna, I think so, it's gonna get pretty good. A video on capacitor for students. Yes, actually, I was planning a video on capacitor. It's officially out now, but I looked into the documentation. It still says that yeah, it's gonna take a little bit while to catch up. So, Anik is a pretty interesting one. But uh, hi Desh, how do I make a billing account in Google Cloud Platform in India with debit cards because it requires credit card? Is there any possibility? Yes, actually, there is a possibility for that, but it's a little bit hurdle path because you have to apply for an international card, and only a couple of banks in India does that. So yeah, I know I can understand that it's a little bit of the trouble that you don't have credit card, and most of the stuff, even on AWS and Amazon and this Google Cloud, they actually ask you for the credit card. For some of the banks, they do accept the debit card. I guess for HDFC, they agree, uh, but yeah, it's a pain, and there is no hack or leak way that you can go through with that because they need this information. They need your card so that if you accidentally like overbill or something, they can actually charge you. So it's a good thing for them, but it's a hurdle for most of the programmer. In fact, this is one of the thing which we are still in the talk of middle with the AWS guys, because we wanted to have a course of AWS, but I still know that most of the people don't have credit card, and thus it's going to be an issue for us to release a course here. So Supriya says, Hola. Hola, Supriya. Bontu, thank you so much for the super chat. How to master algorithm? Mastering algorithm is a little bit tricky thing, because in order to understand these algorithms, you first need to understand the programming syntax pretty clearly, and that clearation of the programming doesn't comes from just printing out few patterns, as well as just keep on going with the oops subject and all of that. It doesn't really, you never get confident in programming just by reading the syntax. The reason how you get confident in programming is through making the projects. A lot of people are going to say to you that, you know what, that I am making up these tic-tac-toe, or I'm making these calculator app, and a lot of people will come to you, will say that, why are you making these small apps? They have nothing to do, you will never get a job with these things. But here's my point of view: until unless you are capable of making even these small apps, how are you going to make a big app? A lot of people say that, hey, why don't you teach making like Instagram clone and Uber clone directly, like, and I'm just like, why would I do that? That is totally a wrong move as a teacher. Because a lot of people think just like as a tech giant. It's not. It's all about what we have to think here at Learn Code Online is how we can put this technology in certain ways so that we can use as much as our teaching skills also. Because it's not just about delivering the tech, it's about delivering the tech in such a manner that it's understandable, and that is the most important part. So thank you so much, Balaji, for the super chat, and I do appreciate. What is LCO? LCO is learncodeonline.in. It's one of my website where we teach a lot of stuff. So in case you haven't yet visited, or you should have downloaded the app as well. Is GRPS better than the REST API? No, I think still the REST API is kind of a better in a lot of cases. But again, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you should definitely take a look on the GraphQL. In a lot of cases, actually, the GraphQL is a little bit better, but again, still the REST APIs are pretty rock solid as of now. So yeah. Okay, so is app or website good for startup? Yes, of course. In fact, whatever you are building up, no matter how groundbreaking it is, it needs to have an interface, and through which mass of the people can actually use it. So no matter what kind of machine learning or maybe whatever the groundbreaking thing you are doing, it's very important for you to have an interface, because that's how the people are going to use it. So having an app or having a website is actually the ultimate idea. Imagine Uber is a great concept, but without having an app, there is no point of having Uber. So these basic knowledge of web development and app development is kind of compulsory. You cannot skip them. No matter how great your startup is going to be or great your product is going to be, it's not going to be there. So Samprit says, hey, where is your iced tea? I don't have iced tea because I usually take my iced tea a little bit later in the day. Sometimes I don't take it. Sometimes I don't feel like iced tea. Like usually, if it is there, I'm going to drink it anyways. But sometimes, sometimes I'm not like iced tea and stuff. Yes, of course, just water is always nearby, and that is always in the bottle of iced tea. That's one of thing. I don't have regular bottles at my home, even in the studio. Also, I just have bottles of iced tea, something like that. What do you think about the future of WordPress? WordPress is a thing which is going to be there for long, really, really long time. It's not going to go anywhere, because for most of the business solutions, having a website in the WordPress makes actually a very, very good decision. And it does come with its own problems and stuff as well, but I think it still is going to be there. But as I can see right now, I talked to a couple of my friends, the market of just freelancing through saying that I make WordPress website is getting and is seeing a downfall a little bit. And of course, there are a lot of things involved. So there are a couple of super chat as well. The first one is by Gaurav, says Django versus Angular, which is good for beginner. As a beginner, I would say that Django is much more easier to nail down for a beginner, because a lot of things are already done. And Debashi says, "Sir, why need credit card for AWS? My debit card works fine." Debashi, it's the exact thing I'm saying, that it's that some of the bank debit cards are being accepted on AWS, but not all of them. Some of the banks have actually a tie up with them that they are considered as an international. Like a lot of them are. So That's why we get to see that some of the debit cards are accepted, but some of them are being denied, and most credit cards are always accepted. So yes, I do agree your card might be accepted, but we have to think about majority of people. It's almost like saying, hey, it works on my machine, I don't care about your machine. It's exactly like that. So yeah, you are lucky that your debit card is working, but there might be chances that if you are purchasing anything international or maybe onto the Google Cloud, your card might be denied because it's just a debit card. And Indian debit card is actually 3 layer security. Usually the cards are 2 layered security, but in the India we use 3 layers. An additional layer of OTP is used. So that's his the big issue here. Okay, Mr. Varghese is here and says 1/3 of the internet is now WordPress. Yep, it's a good solution, but with the 1/3 of the internet already having WordPress, it also means that a lot of people know WordPress, and a lot of freelancers that are still on the WordPress and doing the stuff, they also know that people need now customized solution. They are not looking for just a WordPress install and stuff. And since the market is very, very competitive, that means even for designing these custom solution, you can charge like $50 or $100, and that's pretty much it for an entire website for entire week work, and that is pretty low. But on the same hand, if you have to design this custom solution in probably Django or Node or Angular or React, you can charge way more. But again, not everybody is looking up for that. But again, less audience, more money. You get the math. It's pretty same stuff like that. And WordPress is considerably much easier, but designing the themes and converting any website into WordPress and all of that is a little bit tricky, little bit tricky. Okay, so let's pick up a couple of more questions. There's an interesting one by Saran Kumar. It says Firestore versus AWS DynamoDB, which is best for startup like a food order app with 1K daily user. 1,000 daily user is a pretty good one actually. So on an average, if a month we see 30,000 active user, which is definitely a good one. If you're getting that much of the traffic, I think you'll be making enough money to afford any one of them. I would personally recommend you that actually, the thing is, with the AWS, the bigger the number gets, the cheaper it becomes. And on the other hand, the Firebase or Firestore, whatever we call it, it's different one. It's a little bit cheaper in the starting, and then eventually it becomes expensive. But yes, I would say that if you're getting 1,000 visitors or 1,000 users of your app, and especially an app which is like a food startup, then I think it's pretty affordable for both of them. You should not worry much of them. You should get started with the going. One more tip I can give you here is that with the AWS, expansion of the services is much cheaper compared to the Google. Yes, Google services are amazing, but eventually, my intention, my love actually always goes toward a little bit toward the Amazon AWS. We in fact use AWS as well. Netflix uses AWS, and in fact, Amazon Prime, of course, uses Hotstar, also uses a lot of AWS. So yeah, you know. Okay, so there's a question by Teju. By the way, very nice thumbnail, Teju. It reminds me of somehow Bruce Lee. Sir, please do a course on networking and Linux. Networking, I'm not pretty sure I'll be doing it anytime soon. But yes, Linux is there in my to do list. I want to do it. And probably I'll do that very, very soon. Okay, so let's pick up a question here and let's poll it out. So, how many of you are actually aware of the basic of Linux? Like, for example, installation, moving through directories, and creating new folders. So, comment down in the section, yes Linux or no Linux. It will give us a good idea that how many of you are actually comfortable with the Linux. So, comment down below, yes Linux, no Linux. Okay, so we can see a lot of people are pointing out yes Linux, a couple of no Linux, but yes, most of them are yes Linux. And yes, it's a good thing. Thank you so much, Sai Nath Reddy, for super chat. A lot of yes Linux, a lot of yes Linux. Okay, so you see, a lot of people are already aware of the Linux, and it's a good thing. In fact, okay, now you can stop, please. Now you can stop posting. And here's my advice to all of you: take probably a week out of your life, or probably 15 days out of your life, and go after the Linux. At least installation, moving through the directories, it's going to be super helpful for you in your later life. So if you want to know exact path that what should I learn in the Linux, I have already made a video on YouTube about that. So go ahead, check out that video and share that video also so that more people can know about it. So yeah. Your favorite management tool? My still favorite management tool is my sticky notes. Hard to say that. I also use a Trello a lot, but still, one of my favorite thing is sticky notes. And in my other room, I have actually these big charts as well, like really, really big charts. Oh, we got a super chat. Balaji says, thank you so much for super chat, Balaji. Hi, sir. How to learn data analytics or data science using Python, where I get practice project. Kindly refer me any resources. Very helpful for me. Um, Although I do have a course which is totally about data science and machine learning at Learn Code Online, which is using Python, and it's a pretty good getting started point in case you want to check that out. And in case you're looking up for just the practice project and anything, I think you should definitely try out Kaggle. Kaggle is a pretty good resource in getting data as well as these projects. They host a lot of competitions as well, which are pretty good one. So yeah, sticky notes, haha, too humble. Yes, still, sticky notes are one of my favorite ones. So Kaggle is the one that you should be looking up for, and I highly recommend to check out my course at learncodeonline.in. It is pretty damn good, and we of course do have a support team which look out about your questions and answers and discussion and everything. So I think that's going to be pretty good. Uh, A- Ashutosh Dash, Ashutosh Dash. Sorry, butchered your name. Your background is awesome. Thank you so much. It's a custom design wallpaper. I love this one. I'll show you sometimes the front of this one as well once it gets ready. Right now it's not showable, but I'll do that very soon. How to become Android developer? There are a variety of choices now to become Android developer. You can start with JavaScript, you can start with Dart, you can start with Kotlin, you can start with Java. So at least four of the choices are there, and more are coming in the future as well. And luckily, all of these courses are available at learncodeonline.in. Okay, so let's Jaipur Rock. Yes, of course. There's a guy, Gyanendra Singh Power. Yes, of course, Jaipur Rock. I love Jaipur. Whenever there's going to be something like Jaipur, I'm biased toward it. I'm being honest here. I will say it out loud. So okay, so let's do a question. I was getting a little bit about confusing thing. Uh, what do you think? What do you guys would like to learn next? How about Docker? Are you interested in Docker or AWS? So I know most of you are still biased toward AWS, but I'm not that much, because until unless they solve this issue about the credit card and debit card issue, AWS is not something that I can openly talk. Let's just say I'm teaching a subject and most of people are not into that. So how are we going to manage that? So would you like to learn a bit and pieces about Docker in the upcoming some videos? Um, if you are interested, post down in the section Docker yes, and write them in all caps so that I can easily see them. Docker yes. If I'll get that. I would like to make some videos on Docker because I love it. And yes, Docker is pretty interesting. Okay, so yeah, I can see a lot of people uh, plan to start programming channel. Your suggestion? Um, just get started and serve the audience. That's the whole suggestion. Okay, so okay, a lot of people are asking what is Docker. AWS, AWS. Like, how many of you do have credit card? I know that's a very, very personal question, but yeah, I really don't want to get into it. Like, I won't be asking you that. That is very, very personal. No, I shouldn't have asked that. Sorry. So yes, this is very. What screen recorder do you use? Uh, I use a lot of screen recorders. Depends on what system I am. Like right now, I'm live from a Windows system. It's hard to believe. Hey guys, you forgot to hit that like button. So first hit that like button, then we're gonna talk about it. Okay, hit that like button. If I'm gonna see that going up, I'm on strike till then. Hit that like button, and after that, we're gonna talk again. Okay, so now I can see that going little bit up, not much. Hit that like button. Come on, I'm not gonna go anywhere without it seeing that like button. Okay, now it's going good. So, as I was talking about the screen recording software, it's not only about the screen recording software, it's all about editing, making things noiseless, audio proof, and all of that also includes a lot of stuff. And I do use a lot of them. Currently, I'm live from a Windows system. This is a new laptop that I'm testing about. I really will make a videos very soon because it's a very cheap laptop, very good performance so far I have got from it. Yes, of course, the fan noise, it's still an issue, but it's a pretty damn good laptop. It's of HP brand. I will make a video on it very soon, and it's almost under 55,000 or something. Surely sometimes you can get a deal on that as well. But yeah, I love this laptop. On a Windows machine, this one is pretty good for this year. I will make a separate video on that. So, as I was saying, I do use a lot of screen recording software. Some on them are Windows. One of the software that I use a lot is OBS for a variety of reasons and variety of talks. On the Mac, I generally use Final Cut Pro because I think that's the best, hands down, I can find, and it looks pretty good for me. Surely, Adobe Premiere and all of them are like way more advanced than what I would love to do. But I've seen a lot of fancy editings that can be done on FCPX, so I'm going to be going for that. 25K, no, no, you don't get much of the good hardware in 25K because you'll be missing out on a good graphic cards. Definitely, you'll be missing out on SSD. And without SSDs, the game of Windows is not up to the mark. It's pretty bad game. So yeah. Okay, there's a super chat by Akhileshwar Reddy. I signed 3-year agreement with my company 2 months ago. Okay. What do you say about breaking the bond with it? I literally don't like what they are doing. If you really don't like what they are doing, you should ask your boss if they will allow you to go because if you have spent 2 months with the company, that means you have used their resources and you have used their time actually. And if you have signed the bond, they can actually sue you to recover their money because it's not like you can walk into a company and go out of the company. There are a lot of resources used. They might have bought a lot of hardware just because they are sure that you're going to be there with them for 2 years. They might have a lot of plans that might go out because you are going out. So before signing the bond, always look forward that, yes, I really want to work for that company. It's not like you can walk out like that. It's going to be, it can be sometime if the boss is good, you talk to him and there are not much plans with you, then you can just probably walk out by paying X amount of money. But if you have already signed the bond for 3 years, then I don't think so. You do have much of the chance here. These agreements actually, when you break out of the company, you don't get much of the costing because you are just getting a salary. But companies actually do invest a lot more than that on you. They have tons of plan based on you. So you are costing a lot to that company. So they might want to just take a return from you. So it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. You should have thought first what that company is doing and what that you just signed the bond. It's like you have done a legal agreement with them and now you want to break that legal agreement. So it's not going to be good. It's not going to end up really, really good. Okay, best GUI for Python, or should I go start learning Django? I think Django is way, way more better than what the GUI you are trying in Python. So yeah. Okay, so okay, my bad. 25K is the Final Cut Pro cost from the App Store. Oh, my bad. I thought somebody wants to buy a 25K laptop. My bad. Sorry, sorry, Akul. Yes, 25,000 is the price of the Final Cut Pro, the software that I use. It's expensive. I never said it's cheap, but with the recent update, it's way, way amazing. And it's not just the 25,000 rupees that you spend on it. Sometimes you buy a lot of other add-ons that comes in the Final Cut Pro. So sometimes it goes way over 30,000, 35,000, but it's totally worth it. If you're doing like me, like YouTubing stuff and all of that, and you want to take your editing onto the next level, it's worth investing in it. It's worth buying that. And I'm kind of a person who likes to invest in his own stuff and trying to learn. Even still today is at the today date, like we have a lot of team, which is going good, and still I don't allow anybody to touch my videos. I still do all of the editing, upgrading, and all of these things on my own, YouTube as well as course videos. I love editing part. I love that how I can improve everything what I'm saying and not being relying on somebody else. So that's why I edit all of my videos, and I love that part. I'm learning so much of the new skills. In fact, so much of the new skills that I can handle my camera so nicely now. Bhavesh Chandra, thank you so much for the super chat. I do really appreciate this. So, what about the Saturday challenge? It's gonna come up very soon. I actually talked about it a little bit on to Instagram chat as well. We're gonna get back to the challenges very soon. Currently, our team is busy with the offline bootcamp. We have got so many good, amazing students at our bootcamp. I'm super proud on them. So after once we are done with that, very soon we're gonna start these challenges and all these stuff. So yeah, that's gonna come up very soon. Your site and opening, is that the thing? Let me check that on my mobile. If the website is working, I think it's working. Just try courses.learncodeonline.in. Sometimes Saturday night we get a lot of traffic. Uh, yeah, it's working fine. It's working pretty good. Let me check that out. Yep, it's working. It's working. There is a website you can check out, Down for Me or Everybody. Just write it on the Google, Down for Everybody or Just Me. There's a nice website which can tell you if a particular website is just down for you or for everybody else. Akash Nair says it's working. Yeah, it's working. So uh, it is not working. It is working, buddy. It is working. Just check it out on Down for Me or Everybody else. OnePlus 7 Pro unboxing. No, I don't think so. That's needed. I am still using this device, which is my Samsung. I'm pretty happy with this one. I'm not using that one. Akhileshwar Reddy, thanks for a suggestion, sir. My pleasure. The lives are actually for you so that I can talk a little bit. Is the Hacking School Bootcamp your competition? No, it is not. I'm even not aware of that thing. Okay, does academic marks matter? Uh, Scoring bad, always do a opposite thing what you really want to achieve. And especially, I'm not a fan of like dropping out or something. So yes, I think if you spend a little bit and play strategically, you can always score good in the school as well as learn programming simultaneously. Hundreds of people, thousands of people are doing it, and especially dropping out without having a goal, without knowing what you are about to do is a bad idea. I really don't recommend anybody to do it. Saksham using OnePlus 7 Pro. Yes, he is using and he's pretty happy with it. Just apart from two things, he didn't like that it's not a dual SIM phone, and he also don't like that there's a missing headphone jack. He got a little bit of surprise there that headphone jack is missing. It was a pretty fun thing. You know what? My phone is Samsung and it's having a headphone jack. You see that? I love that. Should I get started with React Native or Flutter? Please help. Uh, Both of them are pretty amazing to get started with, and I recommend if you know already JavaScript, then getting started with React Native makes a good sense. And if you want to get started with Dart and Flutter, like it's your very first programming language, directly get started with Dart, join the Flutter. And by the way, in both courses, we are providing full support, answer to your questions, everything. So you can start with anything. Sachin Pandey say, "What's up, buddy?" I'm good, Sachin. How are you? How's it going on for you? Okay, so ever wrote gate exam? No, we're not talking about gates and stuff here. We're just fighting over React, Redux, Flutter, Angular, Python, Java, JavaScript. Yeah, that kind of a guys. Okay, NASA hacked by Raspberry Pi. I actually read that article about. Okay, there's a super chat. Prince Gupta, want to learn programming? Can you suggest where to start? It depends. There's another super chat also. Uh, it depends on where you want to get started. Like, probably if you are interested in getting started with web, then try out my front end development course. If you want to get started with mobile, you have a couple of options, like starting with JavaScript for React or maybe Dart for Flutter can be a good choice. So it all depends where you want to get started. There is no list like you should always learn C, C++, Java, then something else. No, that's a myth. That's totally a wrong thing. You can get started with any programming language directly. Python, get started directly. Dart, get started directly. Java, get started directly. No need of any prior programming for any language. So that's a myth. Another super chat question that comes up is Ionic Worth Now? My company works on it. Um, it depends on because Ionic is on a moving phase now. It's not gonna it's going to be the same that it is right now. It's moving at a very fast rate, and if your company is working on, I guess you are already subscribed to their newsletter, and you can see a lot of things happening at Ionic. So it's going to be changing now, and they are moving. They have already realized that making these wrapper apps with just enclosed in a browser, it's not going to survive anymore. Everybody's changing towards the native app through React Native, Flutter. These are all examples, good example, that people now want native apps and they want a single code base also. So just be aware of that. Yes, it is still worth knowing about these things, but yes, Ionic will move soon to capacitor. Yes, that's the whole end game. That's why they have launched the product capacitor, because they know it. Single code base moving into multiple, that is going to be the thing. That's where we are moving. We are headed towards now. What's your opinion about? Okay, there's a super chat. I'm 28-year old. I really don't like why do you mention your age. I'm 15-year old. I'm 28. I'm 32. No point of mentioning the age. I completed MS Science, MSCS. Okay, my bad. In 2014, I didn't got a job in IT sector for some reason. Should I? What should I do now for a new starting in IT company? Hey Naresh, it doesn't matter what your age is, even if you are. I have seen people getting a job and cracking down job even in Google at the age of like 35 or even 38. So it's not a big deal. Whatever your age is, you should get started fresh. And whatever the knowledge you have already or whatever you want to get, first fix up your domain. Where you want to get a job in a company, what you really want to do. Maybe you want to work on as a web developer, maybe front end. Maybe you are more skilled in the database or you want to learn that skill. Maybe you want to go into app development or maybe Docker or maybe AWS. There is a ton of things that you can do. So first decide what is your interest and where you see yourself as doing a job in some company. Once you have decided that, I can help you later on figuring out. You can reach me out Instagram as well. Again, check out learncodeonline.in. We have tons of courses at very affordable rate. Like paying a course that is so big and with the support to your questions and paying just 600 and 700 rupees is pretty affordable. You have to give credit for that. Because hybrid apps are not in demand now. Yes, of course, hybrid apps are. Why Angular is not there in LCO? We wanted to have Angular course, but just one man making a lot of courses. We have to bring up the team, write down a lot of code, then record it. It takes time. And we don't want to have any course which looks like it was done in a hurry and just finishing up for the sake of having a course. No, I'm not interested in having a huge library of courses. I would rather like to have small number of courses, but all quality courses. Where is your boot camp? Our boot camp always happens in Jaipur, the amazing pink city. So that is where Jaipur rocks. Yes, Gyanendra, Jaipur always rocks. Okay. Do you take offline lecture as well? If yes, when? I don't take much of the offline lectures, but sometimes some students do come from abroad. Okay. I don't want to learn C, C++, Java. It is very boring now. I learned Python, web app, JS. Without C, C++, tell your suggestion, please. Web app versus data science. There is no point of learning C++ and C if your goal is not to use these languages. Just learning them because your concepts will get clear. It's not a good excuse anymore. These things which usually institute do to oversell their products. First, get a student to learn C one course, C++, second course, Java, third course, and then teaching him. It's just an overselling business, which I never appreciated. If you want to go with the web application, Python, JavaScript definitely is a good choice. Check out my free series on JavaScript. You will love it and you will learn a lot of things. So go ahead for that. No need to worry about C or C++ or even Java if your goal is not to use them. If your goal is to use these programming language, 100% learn them. But if your goal is not to use them, why to have it? It's almost like you want to buy an air conditioner and you don't want to use it. Then why you want to buy it? It doesn't make sense. It's exactly same. It's almost like I want to learn to play piano, but I have bought a guitar. Why you have bought a guitar when you want to play a piano? Directly play piano, buy a piano. So similarly, if you want to buy or just want to get started with web applications, learn something that is more used in the web. Yes, Java is definitely used in that. Django, Python is used. JavaScript is nailing it down in the web. So yeah, you might want to learn that. So don't worry and just get started with JavaScript and Python. That is going to be a good idea. Hosting for MERN app. I think you should try Netlify. I have actually showed you how you can use GitHub and Netlify in my free e-commerce series. Check that out on learncodeonline.in. It's a free series. You're going to learn how to make an e-commerce app. That series is actually totally out, free at Learn Code Online. It's going to come like I'll drop one video here and there on YouTube as well. So yeah. Okay, so time to become a full stack web development. There is no good time than right now. Just get started right now, just after this particular live. uh, are you good at math or physics? Yes, I was pretty damn good in physics in my 12th. Maths also. I scored probably highest in my school uh, in physics. I was a physics geek quite a lot. I loved that subject. I loved physics. What can I do? Heroku over Netlify. I think Netlify is a little bit easier compared to Heroku and definitely a little bit cheaper than Heroku. But again, they are just almost like playing words on words. They are this like. But I think Netlify has a couple of more options than Heroku. Again, they are the same. No big deal. Okay, so let's pick up. You are Wikipedia. No, I'm not. I just try to get as much as I can from the web and then share it. So yeah, I love physics than maths. Yeah. Same thing goes for me. I was a big physics fan. I loved physics, everything about it. Even if you'll give me like 2, 3 months, I can brush up all of my physics skill and can teach it again. I was that much big fan. Why don't you upload your courses at some website, which is very famous? I prefer because actually on these third party website I don't get much control. I cannot hire a team to reply. I cannot just solve your payment problem issues or certificate issues or whatever it's causing it. I cannot actually solve all of that on third party website. On my own website I get more control. I can add lecture whenever I like. I can add anything. I can remove anything. So it gives me more control at Learn Code Online. That's why I recommend anybody and everybody to buy it from there if you want to learn from me. That is actually a good thing. Can you start an online startup examples? Uh, I don't think so. Just showing you a startup entirely on on this YouTube in just a couple of hours of video is possible at all, because startup can be a little bit like easy thing at first, but eventually it requires a lot of things, and it's not just about creating a thing which is just working out, because making an app which just works out and making an app which is going to be scalable for a million user is a whole different idea. So I can surely tell you how to make an Instagram clone or how to make a simple health application or something like that, but reaching it onto a scalable level actually requires you to work on a lot of things. I'll try that my best how I can do that. Hi, sir. Last book you read and your favorite author? I actually have a lot of favorite author, but the last book that I not the last actually, I'm still reading it, is Zoogd, and that book is about how Zuckerberg is now Zoogd. It's a Facebook inspired book, and it has a lot of inside stories about Facebook and how it's a pretty good book, and I would recommend that very soon. It's watching from Jordan. I love you, sir. Hey, Ghazi, you're watching from Jordan. I love that. You remind me of my time in Jordan. I loved the Jordan and Jordanian food. If anytime, by the way, side note for everybody, if you anytime get a chance to visit Jordan, make sure you try the Jordanian food and a lot of things. There's a night street at there as well, where they serve a lot of uh, cone pizzas as well. Just don't miss that. Jordan is a one hell of a good country. After this offline bootcamp, want to have iced tea with you, sir, once. For sure, Samprit. You are here in Jaipur. We are definitely going to have an iced tea. Let's just this bootcamp get over and then definitely iced tea on me. What next? Backend or Android after your front end course? It makes much more sense to go first in the backend, and I would recommend you Node.js course, because after the front end, you're going to love it absolutely. And once you're comfortable with that backend, then you can move on to anything else, because I think you're already onto the verge where you understand the web and everything. It makes much more sense to move into the back part of the web as well. So my recommendation for you personally would be try out Node.js. Why Indians lack software entrepreneurship? I think, Dharani, you and I cannot agree on this part that Indians don't have the skills of entrepreneurship and coding. Uh, don't you see the examples here like Snapdeal, Flipkart, Zomato, Swiggy? These are all Indian startup and they are just rocking. They are just rocking. They are not just good. They are insane level of startup that we are doing. Do we have support in Udemy? No, we don't provide much of the support in Udemy. We just provide support and updates and everything at Learn Code Online. We don't provide much of the things there. Uh, our courses sometimes go there as well, but no, not much. So, as I was saying, telling that Indian startups and Indian people are not good in programming and coding in startup, I cannot agree with that. There are tons of startups that are going on in Bangalore, in Pune, in Hyderabad, in Gurgaon, n number of startups. Ola even started the business outside India. It's not that they have started the business outside of India. They first are grown in India and now they are expanding. So a lot of people are doing great startup. It eventually took time because we had to learn skill, and in order to learn the skill, of course, Zoho. How can I forget Zoho? So these are pretty amazing, insane startup. Yes, of course, some of them had their roots outside of India because to learn that amount of business skills and these tech skills, we had to move outside of India. Now these everybody is coming back home in India, and they are serving their audience as much as they can, as much as they like. Sometimes they fail, sometimes they go up, but saying that Indians are not doing great in the tech industry and everything is going to be completely wrong. I don't think so we can agree on that, but yes, of course, you have complete right to put up your point, so do I have, and that's how good debate works. Can you create an operating system? No, I won't even do that. Why would I? Oyo, Byju's. Uh, I hope you have heard things about them in the Bangalore, about some of the business practices they are following. Let's not go into that because otherwise it's going to create some of the mess over internet. Probably that's a personal talk. Somebody says Byju's lol. Yeah, I guess you are from Bangalore. You have heard about the things about their marketing stuff. So let's not go into that. Let's not go. Okay, so does physics and maths help in machine learning? Math, definitely. Physics, not so much. Math, also a little bit. Um, Matrices, some of the transforms and linear equations. Yes, definitely. A little bit. Okay, so we're getting a couple of questions here. Web app or Android app? Mm, maybe web app first and then move to Flutter or React, something like that. Best Linux based laptop. I'll make a video on the Linux based laptop as well. Who is more in demand, iOS developer or Android? Currently, React Native developers are more in demand. But yes, of course, without any doubt, Android developers are huge in demand because so many of them. iOS developers are higher in salary because only a few of them exist. Yeah, it takes skills to have your MacBook and then learn all of that. Gatsby. A lot of people are asking about Gatsby. Gatsby series is already out absolutely for free at learncodeonline.in. I've already uploaded all of the videos there. I will upload them on YouTube as well very soon, but in case you want to access them right now, they are totally available for free at Learn Code Online. You can check them out. I will upload them on YouTube one by one as I get a little bit time. I was involved today also with some of the taxation. We have GST in India, which takes 18% of all the things that you pay at Learn Code Online. So it goes. Any iOS 13 on LCO? Maybe, maybe not. Future is very, very unpredictable. The only thing predictable about future is that it's unpredictable. So I say that a lot of time. How to make Jarvis? Why do you want to make Jarvis when you have Alexa and Google? Surely you can learn to make skills on that. That would be much more good. How is Mac Mojave? I haven't yet installed it. I haven't yet. Okay, Joma or Tech Lead. I think both of them are pretty fun. as well as sarcastic persons. I don't watch like all of their videos, but I do have watched a couple of their videos. Pretty good actually. They are pretty good. I like their sense of humor, as well as their shooting quality. Not the tech lead, but Juma actually shoots really nice videos. All the cinematics and everything. He does work really hard. Tech lead is pretty good in story narration. That's what I like about him. But I prefer Juma videos. They are more cinematic, and I'm much more oriented for that quality stuff. Waiting for Mac OS Catalina. It's already in public beta. I hope it's gonna come up soon. Your Saturday code challenge is still pending in new updates. Kindly update, please. It's quite amazing. It's gonna come up very soon. Very soon we'll do that. There can be only one tech lead. It's famous dialogue. I actually talked to one of the tech lead in Google as well, and he also watches tech lead. He says we have a lot of tech lead at Google, but on the YouTube there is one tech lead. So we were discussing these things. So I'll probably talk about that a little bit later, maybe someday another. Apple Pro XDR monitor. It's not for us. We just write code and program and stuff. Why would we like to get an XDR monitor? It's for somebody like at the studio of Pixels or some animation studios like that. They would like to have that kind of studio. Not us. It's not for us, guys. So there's no point of bashing that, hey, it's expensive. Lamborghini is also expensive. It's not for driving daily for 2 kilometers at your office in a jam packed city like Mumbai or something. It's not. Similarly, this XDA monitor is not for us. How to learn the technology from docs. In all of my courses, I show you how to read the docs, but it's not easy. I will give you on that. And it definitely takes time. It was not like in my first like 4 years or something, I was not able to read anything out of the docs. Yeah, starting 4 or 5 years, it's a little bit struggling that you are not able to read that much of the docs. Eventually, you start to learn. You can say I'm a slow learner, but yes, it took me years and years to go through with the docs and understand the tech stuff. Yeah. You recently answered my super chat. Please tell for backend PHP or Node.js. I would still recommend you Node.js. I would still recommend you Node.js, Mohit. Okay, so how do I create my own live streaming mobile app? Please tell me something about backend. Can I use Node.js for that? Yes, you can Node.js, but there are a lot of APIs that help you to have live streaming. AW has an amazing, insane, crazy amount of APIs that can help you to do live streamings. In fact, Vimeo can also help you to do live streaming, but their plan is pretty expensive at that point. And even you can have your own OTT. I had to explain OTT now. A lot of people don't know what OTT is. OTT is like, how do I explain it in a simple manner? Have you seen the Hotstar? Hotstar is in itself an OTT. So if you want to make your own Hotstar, kind of an application which has a notes app and payment gateway and everything, then similar kind of services are provided by Vimeo and a lot of other people, and they do allow you to have these kinds of OTT that can have live stream as well. Probably I'm jargoning too much, but yeah. I have a big idea about online games. As I said, my dear friend, a lot of time in my live stream in Instagram, that just an idea is not at all good enough. In fact, it's no good enough. Having a product, having a prototype of your idea is something that matters. So until unless have you have a small product, your idea is like talks. It's just like something in your hand, and uh, nobody bothers about it. Nobody cares about your idea. The only thing people care about is the small prototype. Even if you have a prototype, try to make it a little bit more. If a prototype is good, what's 10 times good than a prototype is a prototype that is being used by at least 100 people, so that you can test your idea that yes, is it working, or is it just hype that I am creating in my head. Because a lot of time you get involved in your idea so much that you just say it's the best idea in the world, but it's not. Let's just be honest. Let's be on the real ground, my friend. So create a prototype and ask at least 100 user to use it in every single day, and then you can say your idea is great. So whenever I read this sentence, I have this best idea in the world, and I just ask why and how you came to know that your idea is best in the world. Did you tested it out? Did you did market research for that? How many current existing users are there on your prototype if your idea is so great? And if your idea is so great, why didn't you already worked on it? Why are you still sitting, just keeping your hands out? Why are you doing that? So yeah, that is my point. Sting, strict point difference between building a software and OS. Uh, TikTok. So, are you fed up with TikTok? TikTok. I should make a video on that. Probably, I would like to talk about that because the insane amount of vision that this ByteDance company owner is having is something that we can all get inspired from, because the amount of startups that he's creating and the amount of traction he's getting in every single app, as well as how quickly his apps are getting shut down, is something that we can talk on a YouTube video. So definitely would like to talk on that. Where is iced tea? I think I should make one iced tea. Okay, so one thing I would like to ask that I recently changed my user handle on the Instagram as well. It's now official, and it says Hitesh Chaudhary official, my Instagram ID. So, are you following me on Instagram? Are you connected with me on Instagram as well? If yes, you are connected with me on Instagram, write down yes in the comment section. I would love to see a lot of yes, that yes, people are connected with me on Instagram. If not, Hitesh Chaudhary official is my handle, and you should get that, get connected. I can see a lot of yes, a lot of yes, couple of no's. Why no? Why no? You should go ahead and join me up at Hitesh Chaudhary official. I go live there. I talk a lot. I'm super active there. So you should get connected. You should get connected. I can see a lot of yes. Yes, Instagram. That's nice that you are connected with me on Instagram. I love that. I don't use Instagram. Hey, you should use Instagram. It's way better than, I should not say it out loud on public, but yes, I found it better than Twitter. Twitter is more toxic. Too many trolls are there. Instagram is way better. It's very less things to do, just a photo, and you can just try it now. Yeah, you should try. You should try. World Cup updates. India is doing pretty good in World Cup. I wish they get a cup this time. I would love to see India winning. Currently, India is just on a rocket speed. They are just killing and nailing it down, everyone. Don't you agree? Yes, I would love to see that India should win the World Cup. So yeah, just one a big thumbs up for the India doing so great in cricket. I don't watch cricket much, but yes, I would still love that India should win. India should win. It's a great team right now. We are having super bench, super everything. So yeah. Okay, so that's all what we're gonna do for this particular live. And make sure you join me up on Instagram at Hitesh Chaudhary official. And whatever you are making, just make a story of anything and just tag me on Instagram. I would love to share your project, your work, whatever you're doing. And maybe a potential hiring person or a company person may hire you. A lot of people got hired through the sharing of my stories of Instagram and LinkedIn and stuff. So make sure whatever you're building up, click a photo, make a story on Instagram and tag me there. I would love to share that back. So that's it for this amazing, awesome Saturday live. In case you have more questions, join me up on another Saturday live and join me up on Instagram. I do go live there as well, and I'm pretty super active there. And again, it's Hitesh Chaudhary official. So go ahead and join me up on Insta. That's it for this live. Let's end up this live stream. And thank you, every single one of you, for joining. Bye bye now. Good night. Jan, Jatin, bye bye, Jatin. Bye bye, Saurav, Lal Krishna, Vaibhav, Epic. What was that? Epic Code. Oh, that's a nice name. Epic Code, Sarvik, Saurav, Pawan. Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone. And thank you so much for joining in.